So that is all from federal leases, or the oil and gas leases on federal land in the area. So, hopefully hopefully today we'll put all that money to good use, and good luck to all of you. I'll let you.
You're just getting over the agenda right here to go. Like, is this okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Just so we can see better. So I'm Dusty Reimer. I've talked to all of you, I'm pretty sure. I'm the one helping you with your grants and kind of running everything behind the show. So thank you, everybody, for all your hard work on your grants. We really appreciate it. Couldn't do this without you. You guys are awesome. So thank you for all the hard work that you put into your presentations and your grants. They are all loaded on the computer. And so as I said in the email, each one of you gets 5 minutes to present. The board will then, after your 5-minute presentation, can ask you questions about the grant. It doesn't have any bearing as to whether or not you did a good grant or you did a bad grant, if they have a lot of questions or they don't have any questions. This is just a really great opportunity to give them the opportunity to hear your grant come to life, to explain it maybe a little bit better, and for them to see you, because you're our public and you're a community and we like to engage with you guys. So this is just a good time for everybody. So hopefully it's not stressful. You guys have already done all the hard work of writing the grants and putting it together. So this is just an opportunity to just really bring it to life for us. So I will be timing you with your 5 minutes. And again, when you see me hold this up, it's not I'm your #1 fan. It's you have 1 minute left. And then at the 5-minute mark, I will cut you off. So just for the sake of everybody and to be respectful of time, we just want to keep going. I know we all have a lot to do, and you guys are all in pretty much life-saving industry, so we want to keep you on schedule too. So if you have any questions, please let us know. As a reminder, we do have $700,000 that we will be granting out this cycle. The requests that we received were $1.4 million. So from 7 different grants. So it is highly competitive. And again, thank you for applying, and we wish you the best of luck. And with that, I will go ahead and line it up for our first presentation, which will be Kevin with the Plateau Valley Fire Protection District.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Peterson. I'm the fire chief of the Plateau Valley Fire Protection District. What we're putting in for is station vehicle exhaust removal system. And I have a short little video for you guys to watch to kind of get a better understanding of how it works and how it operates. We're trying to be very proactive in cancer reduction right now with everything. I'm sure you guys have seen the recent news that our water container is actually containing PFAS. So we're just trying to take all the steps that we can to keep our personnel healthy, not only our personnel, but our community, because our communities use our stations because we have one of the largest meeting rooms in our district right now. So here's the video, and I'm sorry to make it difficult on you guys. Oh.
Hang on, we got it. Let's do this. Ready?
Back in the day, you have the dirtiest gear, the dirtiest truck, and everyone thought that was a badge of honor. Research we found our job exposes a lot of cancer, and no one really thought about being in the firehouse with the trucks. But if you stand next to a diesel truck and start, you're breathing all that in. That's where the primal vent comes in. Traps the exhaust. You're not standing and filling up in the firehouse. A lot of firehouses have dormitories upstairs. All that stuff used to just spew all over the building. Now we don't have any of that.
The unseen dangers of cancer-causing emissions is greatly reduced by the primal vent system, and therefore aligns with our department's goal to keep our members safe and healthy.
We needed a solution that was going to be easy for everyone to use, and this absolutely meets that need. All of our members of all stages and experiences have no problem connecting these.
The system is 20 years old. It's been through a lot of paces, numerous calls. This year we topped out at 1,000 runs. The system is ready to handle that.
So at the time we were looking for funding, we actually got a federal grant to install all 3 of the firehouses. So obviously with a grant, you have to go out and do your research. We've had a bunch of companies come in. but we felt the Primal event was the best one. Just for the service, for the product, the system's been,
So this is a direct source capture system, and basically this will get us compliant with NFPA 1500, which states the fire department shall prevent exposure to firefighters and contamination of living and sleeping areas from exhaust emissions through the use of direct or source capture systems. So I'm not too fancy. I don't know how the realtors do their 3D thing, but we have pictures. So we have 3 stations. We have our Mesa station, we have our Molina station and our Colburn station. They house a total of 14 apparatus between all 3 of them. So like the video was saying, our dormitories are upstairs right here at our Mesa station, directly connected to our bays. And then this office space right here is our training room and our meeting room for the community. And same with Colburn, it's just a square box at Colburn, but our meeting room is directly attached to our bays. And we all know that the doors are not very well air sealed. So we do get some inside, and we host events at our stations. We do at least 2 trainings a month. We have outside trainings that come up. So we're in these buildings quite a bit and frequently. Here's the layout of our stations. So Molino houses 3 apparatus. And then this one right here is our Mesa station that houses 5, and then Colburn houses 6 apparatus. So having the system will reduce the our employees being exposed to the cancer causing emissions from vehicles. And then it's a direct source capture system, so it's directly connected to the exhaust of the apparatus and gets pulled right out of the building. Air Pro is the one who is going to be doing our work for us. They're out of Denver, so they do fire stations. They've been in business since the 70s, so they're a well-known company. They did the BEC system, and one advantage is since it is we're looking at going with the Primal event system, is the BEC and us sometimes share apparatus. So whenever our apparatus goes down to them, they can still works.
All right, wait, do they have any questions for you?
Yeah, sorry.
Kevin, what do you do for ventilation right now?
Right now, we don't have any forms of ventilation. I mean, we can open up our bay doors, but we're in there doing checks every day, running our apparatus, making sure everything's operable, so that we can respond to the emergencies in our district.
Are you doing a startup every day?
Yeah.
Every morning?
Yeah, we start our agents to make sure pumps work. We have our tenders, which are big diesel trucks, so we're starting those up every day to make sure that they're operable.
Yeah, thank you.
So we were talking about, Molina has a 3-bay, is that 3 trucks?
Yeah, 3 trucks are in there.
And then the apparatus sticks on the exhaust of each one of those.
Yeah, so those little hoses you saw will come down and connect to each apparatus. So each apparatus will have its individual hose.
So in total it's 3, 5, and 6. 4, 3, 5, and 7.
6, 5, and 3, yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you guys for taking the time.
Next, we have Plateau Valley School District. Yeah. Let me scoot it back from the wall. Okay.
Listen, hiding in the dark over here. Oh, jeez, this is serious for someone who can't see very well. We can,
Do you want to turn the light on? Is that better?
no, let's see if I can make it through it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, okay.
We good to go?
Yeah, go.
All right.
Good afternoon. My name is John Holmes. I am a retired teacher and administrator of 24 years from Platte Valley Schools. This is Trevor Long, our school superintendent. In 2023, after many years of hard work by a lot of people in our community, we were awarded a $26.6 million Building Excellent Schools Today grant from the state of Colorado to replace our failing 65-year-old building in order for our students to have a healthy, safe, and secure education and meet CDE's vision that all students graduate ready for college or careers and be prepared to be productive citizens. The grant was contingent on a $40 million match by our community that happened through a passage of a bond election in November of 2023 by a wide margin of almost 20%. A huge celebration for our community, but many challenges lay ahead. Escalating building costs, the cost of building in a rural school in a rural town in Colorado, and unexpected costs such as a holding tank for hundreds of thousands of gallons of water and a new water line from the town of Colburn to meet fire suppression needs have led to many tough budgetary choices for the school. The new transportation and maintenance building has been reduced dramatically. Playgrounds are being scaled back. Gravel roads are going around the back of the building instead of paved ones. No exterior concession stands, no exterior restrooms, and the list goes on. Field lights made this list of potential alternates, but I'm about to show you why this was not a choice and why we will make it happen. This is our current athletic field. Early 1960s, it was made from all volunteer work. You can imagine local people out there with their tractors leveling the field. You can see our dirt track, all done by volunteer. You can see our goalposts created and made by local Job Corps students. And our stands were put in by volunteers. Our current press box made out of plywood and 2x4s. And as you notice, no lights. We are, as far as I know, one of the only schools in the entire state that don't have football lights at their school, at their high school. I know a few on the eastern side, none in western Colorado, as far as I know. About 10 years ago, we decided we were going to start a new tradition. We were going to give our community a night game. It was the most well-attended event that I've ever seen in our community. The difference between a Saturday afternoon game and a night game is absolutely unbelievable. We raised money through kind donations. The energy fields helped with lights, and we brought in portable lights. I'm going to show you some pictures of Homecoming 2023 of our annual evening game. You can see the portable lights that we bring in one time a year. We bring in the back of trucks, 8 of them. It's very loud, but it's amazing what it does for our community. You can't see very well. Stands are absolutely packed. You come to a Saturday afternoon game. We're a pretty busy ag community. People are busy. Saturday afternoon games aren't well attended. Friday night game is ridiculous. The stands are packed. Sidelines are packed all the way down both sides. Parking lots are packed. We're parking up. You can see people are parking up on the highway for these nighttime events. Community members lending their vehicles for our homecoming festivities, homecoming royalty under our portable lights. This one might be the most important thing of all. I would love to say that this facility meets way more needs than just for our students. Positive effects for our community through the walking tracks, the jogging tracks, the use of our fields for activities, picnics, get-togethers that will happen. This is going to be a true community facility. This will be our canyon view. My son just graduated a couple of years ago. He and his friends would drive an hour to play basketball in the evening at Canyon View. We don't have these opportunities in Plateau Valley. This lighted athletic field, community field, will eliminate that. Mr. Long.
I just want to emphasize the points that Mr. Holmes has made, how important this is to our community.
We had struggled to pass a bond and we worked very hard. Community, technology and safety are the basis for passing this bond for our community. So we've got to come through. We dearly appreciate your consideration. It means a lot to our community.
You guys see, currently you have one nighttime game, you bring in the temper. If you have the lighting, how many nighttime games a year?
Regular season's 9 games, so it would be 5 1 year for another playoffs if we can. We just started junior high football this year.
Okay.
So that will probably move to some evening games. And even the goal is to create more and more programs, and get the younger kids involved as well. But again, this is much more than football.
Yeah, so you talked about the basketball courts at Canyon View, so you'll have basketball courts under these lights as well?
Courts will be on the field, so the lights won't just encompass the football field. You'll be able to light up the whole athletic field. So yeah, there's a planned basketball courts adjacent.
Is it a light engineered solution? In other words, has an expert said, you gotta have, this is the size of the field, this is the power or the amount of light that you need?
Will you want to address?
Sure, yeah, yes, we're working with Trainer Architects and FCI, and of course, they're well suited and vetted in building schools, and they've given us a couple models for the lights. We're looking for not necessarily NCAA Division I, we're looking for high school packages with the escalation, and I'd like to just add, 3 years ago, we passed this bond. And the same project was $45 million. We won a $10 million BEST grant, had to pass a $35 million bond, and it failed. We worked really hard. We've sold the community. This is your opportunity to have some community involvement and engagement. Wait for the bond again. Same package is $66 million. Same package 3 years later. That's how much this has escalated. Our grant's 26. We bonded for 40, so we're paying 40 million now, as opposed to the 35 before. So this is once in a lifetime. It's safe to say that probably none of us will be around the next time this new school is built at Plateau Valley. So if we don't hit the mark and all those things that escalate, I'm going to be honest. Lights were big to get votes. So we know how much the community focuses on our school, and those opportunities for involvement, entertainment, belonging happens that night. People work during the day. So we're going to make this happen one way or another. I don't want to make it happen at the cost of instruction, technology, and facilities. It's so funny, I'm answering more than you asked, but the mentality that we've been struggling with is Dad had that same desk when he was in school here 45 years ago. We're not going to get the chance, and we've got to come through with this light package. And it's our goal and our desire to put a school on this site that our kids have the best or as equitable as anybody else down here or any place across the country. And unfortunately, lights are an extra, but they're really not for a community gathering place and a community belonging.
Is the surface turf or grass? Okay.
We'll add really quickly to that. As far as we're trying to make this happen, we've gone out and purchased a used press box. Pennies for what a new one would, and also a purchase from another regional schools football stand for them at a smaller, much smaller cost in order to hopefully create some dollars to get this light project done.
And we're working with our town of Colburn. We're running the water line, which we've got to have from the town source. Right now, we're running from a spring. And that's our water supply. And we know sustainability wise, 10, 20 years down the road, it's not the wisest choice to commit to that. So we're working with the town to run a water line through a DOLA grant opportunity because it's excessive. It's about $2 million, which is a little over $1.1 million that we thought we'd initially spend on a water line. So here we are back at the table. We've got to make this money work, and I won't go back
we can't go back to our community and say, we need more. So we're here today.
I know we worked a lot with the Valley Lease County to make sure you guys had what you needed as far as the water and the lane next to it. So I appreciate all of guys' hard work already on this. I know it means a lot to Mesa County and the residents up there. As far as question goes, I'm glad to see that there's other sports that would be participating in this. And when school's in session, it gets dark.
Yep.
You know, pretty early, especially in the winter time, so.
Again, I would love to create regular hours for the community to be able to use that facility as well.
Do you know how many lights that you will actually be needing for this? In your on the package?
I do not.
We have an estimated cost of, again, the initial look at the top of the line was about 700,000. And we're looking at a package now, we hope to be about 400,000.
If they have flexibility and options.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Round housing.
Hello, thank you for your time. I'm Janet, Town Manager of Policy.
I'm Troy, I'm the Director of Parks, Recreation and Events and Facilities.
So we're here today with our overly loved Riverbend Park River Corridor access. Our request here is to connect an ADA trail and riverbank restoration and boat ramp improvements. Where our location is part of the One Riverfront Trail. The One Riverfront Trail does come right next to Harkey's Launch in Riverbend Park. We are partners with the One Riverfront Trail. I'm still working to get the whole thing connected, hopefully one of these days. But with this project, this is the project location. It is in Riverbend Park. We do have about 150 parking spaces that are free. It is highly used by Mesa County residents, using it for dog walking, swimming, boating of all types. Come to Harkey's Launch and then they take out at Grand Junction, Clifton, Fruta. Part of this project that we're having problems that we're needing to address is the One Riverfront Trail just abruptly ends where Harkey's Launch is. So this is showing it going east and then also coming west. It causes problems. ADA users can only use half of the park. If they do come, we've had bikers riding their bike and not see the grade change and actually kind of go up into the ramp. So part of this request is Palisade really committed to this project, but we have to do a lot of grading work. And the request from this grant is to help us do this connection of this part of the ADA trail. You can see it's very steep, a lot of erosion, a lot of old riprap. Boulders are falling down, so it's becoming very unsafe. So we do need to re-terrace it for riverbank restoration. And this is just to show a photo of this. This area is used by schools for education, a lot of people throughout the county. We have a lot of people who gather, hundreds. This is an example of Palisade High School who do raise razorback fish and they do release it here at Riverbend Park. This is one of the endangered locations. So we do want to make these improvements. And here's Troy to tell you how we'll do these improvements with the funding.
So with this, we've been working on this for literally 5 years. We've done miles of invasive removal. We've been hiring professionals to design and develop this for us. We've had multiple site meetings. We've engaged the public. This is one of our first iterations of this new improvement. So you can see where the trail connects right here. We're going to apply, we're going to put ADA stalls in a few of these spots to, make that connectivity to the riverfront trail. As Janet said, it's very steep and it's very, it's not safe. The riprap, the old existing structures that are there are unsafe and they're not easily navigable on that area. This is at our 90% completion design right here, so you can see kind of the advancement of this. And through this, what we did is we used an online tool called Mural Board, where you can scan a QR code, you can leave little Post-it notes. We had public forums. We presented this to the River Corridor Initiative. So Mesa County, City Grand Junction, FRUTA, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, Fish and Wildlife, Audubon Society, all the members that are at this River Corridor Initiative have looked at this. They have given us feedback. They have given it its blessing. We've consulted with Rivers Edge West specifically on this, on some of the amenities. And this is what's critical with this is this completes a section of the riverfront trail. So as we're moving through this whole process to do this, this section right here is you can't feasibly wheel a chair through there. And so we want to make sure that we are able to accomplish that in our time. As you see, this is the first step of the engineering plans. This is all the mapping, the grading, everything that we need to do with our surveys to figure out where we were and what we wanted to do. And then as you move in, you can see we have very detailed drawings, and we're at that 90% with our engineering plans. So one of the questions was, will this move forward? Yes, we are moving forward with this. One way or the other, we're at a point where we're going to work this fall and this winter through the spring before the high water comes in. So all of this has been detailed. We've got mapped. We have figured out how we can connect this trail, make this whole thing work, provide ADA accessibility to our residents. And of note, this is adjacent to one of our lower income areas in Palisade. And so this is free recreation that our residents get to access and get to use.
And I just want to add too, like, if you do look in the budget, Town of Palisade has committed $250,000 to this project. It does come in two forms. We do have to do all the grading and terracing and reset the boulders. It will change the grade of where the ADA sidewalk and the ADA parking are gonna be. So it's not like we can do the one riverfront trail and not worry about this part. We actually have to do all the grading work and terracing before we can put in that ADA trail. So the town has committed funds to do all the terracing. And so part of this grant is to help us complete the one riverfront trail. The concrete work, that does have to be 8 inches for cars to drive over it, to go onto the boat ramp, and to put in the parking. So you can see that in the budget too, that it is really requesting for that completion of that trail in the park, with the town paying for the grade and boulder. And that's it, unless you have any questions for us.
Like to make one request, Janet, we'd like to get on the agenda for the council.
Okay.
Discuss that on the release. Or what our places of money are and, the education. We would like to get on the agenda.
Certainly, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Well,
thank
you.
East Orchard Mesa Fire Protection District.
My name is Danny Van Wood. I'm the Assistant Fire Chief over at East Orchard Mesa Fire. And I'm here to talk to you about our future and a little bit of what we've done in the past. So, calls. Here's our most basic call types, a lot of what we run throughout every year. As you can see with EMS, about 67% of our calls make up of that call type. Nationally, it's about 8% of a department's call type. We have a weird decrease in our wildland calls. I chalk a lot of that up to the weather pattern changes. We haven't had a lot of dry weather, especially this year. We've had a lot wetter. We do deploy statewide to help out on wildland fires, going internationally for medical. Structure fires, we're starting to see an increase, but not in our district. We do a lot of exterior district throughout the county for structure fire aid calls. Motor vehicle accidents, a few within our own district, and again, right on the outside. Hazmat, the past few years have been tough. We've had Excel contract work in the area, and they keep hitting. the gas lines, as well as some of the farmers just doing some basic projects as well. And carbon monoxide calls, those are starting to come back in, of course, because we will have that fall, winter. And then we do have a really strange district overlap that goes into Palisade, actually right across from the boat ramp in two other spots where we get a triggered multiple district response for drowning. Here's a breakdown from, I was only unfortunately able to pull the May, December 22 numbers and all the way to year date of this year. As you can see, EMS is our largest call volume type. Wildland comes in second, structured motor vehicle. And our other is based around standby community events. We do a lot of work every year with the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast. We are working on some other school education projects as well. And that's where a lot of those calls go into as well. What we're looking to do is replace this piece of apparatus. This is our rescue unit. It is the highest used unit. It is used by all of our in-station crews. It runs on all of our medical calls. Our medical transports are made or done by the town of Palisade. So we do not have an ambulance transport, but our EMTs will run in this vehicle. It is an all hazards vehicle, so it works for our rescues, hazmat calls. It can help on structure fires. It's basically a very small version of our fire engine. It does have some unfortunate problems. This box right here controls the RPMs, which helps bring up the PSI in our house. And that box is starting to fail. Unfortunately, due to the age of this vehicle, which is a 2000, there are no current replacements. Ford is unable to do anything. I cannot find anybody to do programming for it. And there is a new system that just came out into the market called the SAM system. It's an all digital fire system. And if they do that for this truck, it'll be $25,000 to $30,000 just to replace this little box. We also have other problems with our PTO system. Unfortunately, the way this truck was built, the PTO box sits right above the drive shaft. We hit a bump just right, that drive shaft hits this elbow that comes bringing the fluid from our transmission into that PTO box, and we lose the drivability of the truck. Last time this happened was in a fire on 39 road, and my crews had to bail out of the truck because the flame front was coming up on both sides. We don't send it on wildland as much right now, but it does have that backup capability because we were able to get a brush truck. Thank you all from that last grant process. Those are our two big problems. The other problem is, apologize right here, this box is made of steel. When they built this vehicle, they did not have very good payload capability. The truck is extremely overweighted and it is driving down on the truck like a rock. We are hoping to replace that truck with a brand new build. And by doing this, the kind of piecemeal way, as opposed to us sending it out to the fire truck manufacturer, it'll cut down on our production wait times, as well as saves about 44 to 48% on full purchase by bringing in a skid unit, a custom made box, much like this one, and bed that would go on the back of a brand new 4x50 build or 650, depending where things go. And to help combat the market potential of us having to wait, we do have backup plans with GMC used units and a potential remount on a much heavier duty truck for this box if all else fails. Any questions?
So the bed component and the truck component together are 110,000.
So it would be the bed, the truck, and the fire unit right here. So
Okay, that's 110,000.
new units cost anywhere from 250 plus if we were to send it to an actual fire apparatus manufacturer.
No. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Independence Academy Charter School.
Go ahead, sir. Okay, my name is Lisa Gonzalez. I'm the executive director at Independence Academy
charter school. We are a publicly funded, school in District 51. So we get our funding just the same way that the school district gets theirs. It's just, we're kind of separate as well. So we have about 500 students. We've been working on making sure that our facilities can house our students and make sure that our facilities give our students the best education that they can have. So we've been working on a brand new gym and theater space for quite some time. We finally were able to get our own bonds. We don't get bonds to the district like the way that the district gets them, so the taxpayers don't pay them back. We have to pay them back as a mortgage. So even though we get funded the same way, when we ask for money, we have to pay it back out of our per pupil funding versus like different, that which again is different from the district. So we've been around for about 20 years. We're looking at about a $6 million construction of a gymnasium and theater, and then the whereas at the vestibule, when you come in, will be a student art gallery. So on one side, it'll be a theater, and on the other side, it'll be a gym. It's not like a gymatorium, as some of them are very popular, because that doesn't really serve as a gym or an auditorium. It just kind of, it's like a big open space. So we have designed a space. So on one side, it's a full-size gym, and then on the other side, it's a theater. And it's actually separated from our main building so that we can have events in there that don't disrupt the school day. And also when we have night events in there, we don't have to close down the entire school. So it's just on the other side of our parking lot. It is seat 600 in the gym and 600 in the theater. We will never have events going on at the same time because we just don't have that kind of parking space, but that way, whatever we want, now we can house our entire student body. We currently don't have any place where we can put our entire student body for any kind of event or announcement or performance or anything like that. Our arts department is the largest in Mesa Valley. We have a huge art departments. We have like 2 full-time art teachers, which is sort of an unheard of thing nowadays. We have 2 music teachers, and then we have our sports teams. So we try to really make sure we give our kids a well-rounded education. We are an expeditionary school, which means that we have to involve the community in our school, and we enjoy bringing in our community partners. So we have a community theater partner with the theater project. And then we have also the Guitar Society that works with us as well. We are currently asking to upgrade our seating. So our current budget request, or our current budget allows us to have the chairs up at the top there, which are stackables, and they can move, and there's some safety issues with those things, but also it's what we can afford. So if we could get additional funds, we would like to put in the traditional auditorium seating, which is like the fold down that gets bolted to the ground. We are also looking for funding for the scoreboards for the gym. So we did include a second upgrade for our theater area, but do understand that, you know, funds are limited, as they all are everywhere. So when our first priority is the seating and the scoreboards, and if possible, we would like to get theater rigging. So the theater rigging, it helps scenery go up and down versus having to move it off from side to side. It's significantly expensive. Any question?
So many different levels of
Yeah.
opportunity, you know.
Oh,
in that, so. I
absolutely,
appreciate
yeah.
that.
Well, we come from the school district and, or, you know, in education, there's always, well, this is what we'd love to have if their money was no object. And then, you know, but we can get we like these opportunities to just upgrade even a little bit would help our students, and the building will happen either way. But if the experience is good for our community and our community partners and our parents and our students, then the more use we will get out of it too. And that's one of the other things we kind of like to emphasize is that we are the space is being built with the idea that it is a low cost area for people to perform in. And so when our community theaters and our, like the Guitar Society go to like Mesa, the CMU or anywhere else, they have to pay a fee, and it's upwards of $5,000 a day, which is huge, and it's incredibly expensive for nonprofit agencies. And so we partnered with people like the Theater Project and with Guitar Society. They use our space already, and now they would use this space as well. And we are supporting our expeditionary purpose as well as our own purpose as a school. So it's not something that's gonna sit empty for a long period of time. A lot of auditoriums do because they're for one purpose. But ours is already, people are already asking, hey, when can we book your space? And because we're, I don't want to say cheap, but we're cheaper, and it's a community space, so.
I think it's interesting how it's closed off so that can continue to have community events and not be impacting the school.
And it's like I said, it's just on the other side of our parking lot. I don't know if you've ever been to our school, but as you drive up, so our schools, you come around and there's our main building, and then we have what we call a south parking lot, and then I'll be on the other side of the south parking lot. So you can just go into the parking, same parking area, and then you can just kind of go there. So that way, like right now, if we want the district schools want to play us in a game, they have to come at 3:15, but our school doesn't get out till 4, so they have to just sit there. Oh, have you? No, it's not all of us. And so they sit there from 3:15 to 4 o'clock in our comments, and they just sit there because our kids are still in class. And so, and you know, they're so patient and they're so great, but it would be nice if we could just let them go to the gym, and this way they can, so that way, and then their spectators could also just go to the gym. So that was a consideration as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
City of Grand Junction.
Good afternoon. My name is Gus Hendricks, Deputy Chief with the Grand Junction Fire Department, and I'm going to take a few minutes just to talk about our grant, which is requesting some enhancements to both infrastructure and props up at our regional fire training center. Our training center itself is built around partnerships in the valley. It is up on Whitewater Hill through a collaborative effort between CMU, Mesa County, and the city of Grand Junction. They've collectively built a site called CLETC, or Colorado Law Enforcement Training Center, and a 5-acre site of that property owned by CMU is carved out for fire training. And what we're looking at is a couple things. We're looking at building a trench drain. I'll talk about that here in a minute, and then also putting in some more training props for our community as it grows. What I have up here is a little bit of our project history. As you know, we've been in front of you 2 other times for the same structure. Back in 2014, we did a water line construction, which brought 8-inch water line from 32 Road all the way up on top, past all of the gun club, the model airplane club, up to our site in order to have water for firefighting purposes and then any future classroom growth that's built out there. The other was in 2018. We came before you in order to build a concrete pad around our fire training structure or live burn building so that we're able to hold training events up there. The training center itself, what our goal is, of course, is to reduce injuries because we want our firefighters, all of our firefighters, all of Valley, Western Slope firefighters to be safe. And that comes through training and the ability to do increased repetitions. And that's why we're building this site out to the best that we can. What we're proposing here on these 2 different projects, first is a Connex box prop. And what that is just as it says, we're purchasing some Connex boxes and then building them into fire props. Our long-term build out is to make that modular so that we can adapt to the growing community. As we've seen in the valley itself, we're putting in a lot of multifamily residents. We don't have a lot of training opportunities in multifamily residents. So with this Connex box, we're able to stack those boxes, build them up so that it acts more like we can go in and do training similar to going into a multifamily building. It also gives us the ability to set it up like a strip mall as we do in town here as well. So it makes it very modular in training our firefighters. And then the trench drain, as you can see in the photo here, this is the concrete that was put in through FML funding back in 2018. The city then put in asphalt around that in order to give us a larger training ground. What we're finding is those poor soils up there, we're starting to get some separation between the concrete and the asphalt. So we've had a number of engineers come out, look at it, and their recommendation, instead of tearing it all out, putting in new substructure in order to hold the weight and the water that's on that facility, their recommendation was to just put in a trench drain that would bring the standing water from the location here all the way to our detention pond. So those are the two projects that we're looking at building with this. This is just an example of what we have up there currently. So we do have and are working towards this Connex box simulation. This is set up with 4 Connex boxes similar to a large 2-story home that allows our firefighters to do multiple operations, both first floor, second floor, rescues, fire suppression. And then over here on the right, you can see where we start to get that separation and that water pooling around that concrete and asphalt. So again, the Connex boxes give us that opportunity for realistic training, increased safety, and then, as I said, that adaptability to our changing community and those needs. The drainage, of course, is to reduce the standing water in winter if it freezes. And then, of course, we want to protect the infrastructure that's already there, not having to tear it out. But if we can put this in, it'll give us that longevity. As far as budgetary concerns for our 25 budget, we have put in the funding for the 30% match for this grant. So of course, we wouldn't be able to start until January because that's when our matching funds come available, but they have been budgeted currently in our process. Is that a minute or do I have 30 seconds?
You have 220 seconds left.
In the growth of this facility, one of the things that we found is we're starting to get some entities from outside of the state even, or outside of the area, they're starting to use this facility. In October of 25, there's a new organization in Colorado called Colorado Smoke Divers, which is an advanced firefighting training, and they're actually coming out here to use our facility for that. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Let's give this to Brian.
Wait, just wait, Gus.
Oh, that's right. We have questions. Don't we any questions? We want to switch
Maybe.
out so quickly.
I thought, why is there so much water up there? But like, oh yeah, you're fighting fires with water. No wonder you got puddles like that.
Absolutely, and you can see here, so here's one of this happened to be an aerial photograph that just by chance. Here's one of our fire apparatus hooked up to a hydrant. You can see all the water, and then as it starts to pool here, and then also this is where a majority of the pooling occurs. So if we can capture this here, it's going to prevent any of this from going around.
And it will go into the detention.
Correct. So there is a inlet here. That's where all this water is going to, is to this inlet. And then there's an underground 3-inch concrete or 3-foot concrete pipe that goes all the way to that detention pond.
Was the detention pond that has always been there?
No, we put that in as part of the monies from the 2014 water project, because we knew that bringing the water, we would have to have or required to have that detention pond as well.
It was that pre-asphalt?
Yes, yes. So this was actually put in, I believe, in 2014 or 2015 is when that detention or the detention pond was put in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right, that concludes the traditional grants, and now we have our last one, and that is in our mini grants category. And that is the Clifton Fire Protection District.
Hello, I'm Doug Stosson. I'm the training officer for Clifton Fire. This is Brandon Sherman, our current and hopefully forever fire chief. So we're coming to you today. We're doing looking for the mini grant for a Connex box style training facility. There's also going to be a confined space rescue with that. So we're going to take 2 40-foot high cube Connex boxes, smash them together, bolt them together, put doors in between them, doors, windows on the outside, to make it simulate a house as best as we can. This is something that's been done across the country for several years. The steel and the metal can take the heat. We can make them modular inside, put walls and stuff inside them so we can move them, change up the layout however we think we need to. They'll have two separate burn rooms, one that's the full length and the other one that's about 2/3 the length. We'll be able to do different types of search and rescue, whether it's searching for victims, searching for downed firefighters. It is gonna have an adjustable roof prop on it, which is something I haven't seen done before. So we thought that was kind of a cool idea to be able to change. Typically they're fixed. You really get really good at cutting holes in that roof at that angle. So being able to adjust that and having to work off a ladder or having to be very flat, there's something that'll be nice. We'll have fire sprinklers and a fire department connection. So we can practice pulling out, tying into that sprinkler system, shutting off the sprinklers. And it'll also be an added safety feature if something does go catastrophically wrong, we can just flood the whole thing and put any fire out. We'll have forcible entry doors for training on that. Different types of fire attack, interior, exterior. And then, like I said, the confined space training. So this is just an idea. We'll start with just a single floor. They'll be next to each other. Someday down the road, we can look at adding a second floor, but with Grand Junction having a station out in our fire district, and us being literally next door to each other, this would be a great opportunity for us to train with them. We work a lot with Palisade, occasionally with Lower Valley, so we're able to have anybody and everybody come down and train with us whenever we think that it's a good time for that. So currently there's the one large training facility up in Mesa, primarily used by Grand Junction. It is open to the rest of the agencies in the county, but primarily it's used by the city. It's outside the bounds of our fire district, so we can't just go up there and use it and train. We have to flat out time on our days off, try to get our guys to go up on their days off and go up and train. So having it inside our district, we'll be able to go on shift and send crews down and train during the regular day. Like I was talking about, everybody up there is available to use the facility up on the hill. So being able to have a second similar facility would open up more opportunities for other agencies and for us. Structure fires are becoming a high risk, low frequency event, meaning they don't happen very often, but they're very dangerous when they do happen for the community and for us. So the idea is to learn your unsafe task in a relatively safe environment. So firefighters, fire departments are going to be better prepared from this, both us as a single entity, but then like I said, that interagency cooperation with Grand Junction and Palisade. We'll be able to pre-plan, have a better idea of what we're going to do when we show up and not have to scramble and make that plan in the moment. You potentially lower the impact to your victims of these structured fires because of that pre-planning. You have that potential for lower property loss, low property damage.
Yeah, we do support some of the other fire agencies. And one thing I just wanted to add is this is not a competing project with what Chief Hendricks is bringing. This is a complementing project. The project they have going is a bigger 2-story, larger kind of structure. We're staying small, just offering a little bit of relief for the busy training center that they have. We communicate quite a bit, and we don't want to compete with each other. We want to complement our projects. So we're offering a confined space training because, and quite honestly, Grand Junction would be doing the confined space. But me as the new chief, I've identified some training we need to do. And right now we're running 4,500 calls out of that one station a year. So we just don't have the ability to go up to that training center all the time. So we need something a little bit closer, but again, we're being very careful not to overlap with what the other project is on it.
Questions?
I'm sorry, I should have picked this up on you. Where is it gonna be?
So I actually didn't have that in there. We submitted all the drawings and the plans and everything. So it's gonna go at Clifton Sanitation at the far north end of their property. They're at 32 and D Road. The big asphalt pad will be right behind that.
And that was sort of a joint project with Clifton Sanitation because they do a lot of confined space.
entries, so does Clifton Water, they're part of the project, and then our district is supporting that part of the project as well.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. That concludes the grant presentations from everybody. Thank you very much. Just a reminder, there's $700,000 that we have available for funding. And you're all invited to come back to the next meeting, which will take place October 16th, when the board will then see the scores and then award accordingly. So thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions?
You said that was the 16th.
Yes,
And what time is it?
it'll be, the meeting only starts at 2.
Thank you all, as always, we wish we had $1,000,005 today, all the presentations were were great, we, and needed a project, we wish we had all that, decisions will be made based on need, our perceived need, impact the oil and gas industry on your project, visibility, longevity, so several different issues. Like I said, we should give money to everyone. Thank you.
Brian, we were, thanks for, I'm sure we will. Meeting adjourned at 3:27.